Alright everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the F123 Driver Career Mode with Haas, episode number 8 today for the Austrian Grand Prix. If you missed the previous episode uploaded last week at Canada, I recommend you go and check that one out, because, spoiler alert, we actually didn't finish that race with an engine failure. So we're looking to bounce back at Austria, a better track for me, and we're looking to bounce back with some possible R&D upgrades, although this minor weight redistribution upgrade isn't going to come in until Silverstone. That's this minor weight reduction upgrade as well. I mean, can't put the tyre blankets one on, I'm afraid, because the power capacity is reached. Oh, good. Our fuel efficiency upgrade has failed. Not that I really care about that, because we haven't been struggling with fuel, to be honest, as well. But yeah. Well, sprint race is going to be interesting, because it looks like we'll be making some pit stops, because it's going to start full wet and it's going to turn dry at the end of the race. So, you know, there might be a few bits of full wet to slick option available or something. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see about that as well. But R&D wise, we continue that sort of steady line of climb, but McLaren have closed in on us, which is annoying, because, you know, they have been getting a bit faster. Obviously, Aston Martin have now been overtaken by Mercedes. Mercedes, who have flatlined for several episodes, have finally brought an upgrade as well. Obviously, we're just looking to keep on climbing, making sure we can improve, making sure we've got a car that is good at all tracks. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see about that. But here to Austria then. Yeah, as I said, it's a good track for me, personally speaking, on previous games, so we'll have to wait and see what we can do on this year's game. And into qualifying, wow, P5 to start with, as well. Piastri's P7, so, you know, he's not a million miles away from where we are, you know, aiming to be. As I said at the start of the season, McLaren were the main target. Aston Martin have also become a target in recent episodes, of course, because, of course, they're not as good as they are in real life in this career mode. I don't know if that's happened to everyone's career mode, but in my career mode, they're not as fast as they are in real life. Of course, obviously, they didn't have such a great race yesterday, the British Grand Prix, and obviously McLaren were the ones that are now needing a major upgrade. But yeah, I've been talking about this lap. It's not the best lap around here, to be honest. We've actually messed up in the middle sector. We're actually lost a bit of time through turn 6. We gained that a little bit back. We're not gaining masses. We are slightly down on Hamilton through the middle sector, but the middle sector isn't where I actually is where I lose time. It's through the first and the final sector I actually gained time. We're actually a 10th up now through the final corner up to the line. What's this going to be? 105 flat. That's not going to be pole, but it's going to be 8th place. 4.5 tenths off in the end. I was hoping a little bit closer, to be fair. Alonso, annoyingly, is there in P6, but his teammate's 11th. Kevin is down in P14. That's not what we need from our teammate. So, yeah, I mean, the only advantage is Piastri's down there as well. So, we'll see what we can do. It's time, though, for today's sprint.
Well, the weather is not looking good today. We are expecting the downpours to continue into today's sprint. This will make for some tricky conditions for all the teams. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Perez, Verstappen, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Phoenix, Norris, Gasly, Stroll, Ocon, Bottas, Magnussen, Oscar Piastri, Joe, Albon, Tsunoda, De Vries and Logan Sargent. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We will soon find out.
So we are down the grid. Race strategy is going to be a no stop on the wets. Yeah, I think we're going to be going to dries at the end, but will it come in time? We'll have to wait and see about that. So 5 red lights then to the Austrian Grand Prix sprint. 12 laps in the full rain, and away we go. It's a good start. Obviously, that new flashing light animation, which I really like. What I don't like about this full wet stuff is the spray. as well. We're having a look around the outside of George Russell there in the Mercedes. We forced out somebody else at turn 1, but yeah, for us, we are able to for now keep P8, as Stroll has done about 2 miles an hour at turn 3. That's lost about 4 places. So Stroll not having a great time of it there on the opening lap. We are trying to have a go at George Russell. I've gone though to Narnia at turn 1 as well. The brakes not slowing me down enough for turn 1. We'll have to look at that. So we look at the front there. It's Perez having a go at I think that's Hamilton in the Hamilton. Sorry, I haven't got Perez. Excuse me. Is the 2 Ferraris up in front. We are now closing in past. We got past Russell as well. Can we get Aston Martin? Bit of contact there, but we are through on the Aston Martin as well of Alonso, which is crucial for our Constructors' Championship. Here's a replay on board with Alonso, a bit of spray there. As he had a look at, half a thought of Hamilton going at the inside, and then there we are at the inside. As I say, a slight contact there, but nothing any damaging, as we now look to defend from Russell there, as we've gone really wide. And I mean, we've just gone straight on that line. The car was not stopping. We've rejoined ahead of Alonso, but we have lost the position to Russell. So, I don't think we've actually gained anything from that. As well as that is Lance Stroll, who has had a Spinala, and somebody has driven into them, one of the Williams. I think that's Sergeant. Red flag has been deployed as well, and that could change things, because obviously it's going to close everyone up. It's going to give us a chance to get a good starting position for tomorrow's race, and it looks like that due to tidying up all that mess that Stroll caused has meant that the sun has come out and it's now fully dry, so we've got a big chance of getting a good starting position. 5 lights are out and away we go, and it's a great start compared to Russell. Verstappen having a poor start as well. While we do break early, Verstappen comes back down the inside there, a little bit of a back end loss there on the exit. And there's Perez retiring on the opening lap, not on the opening lap, on lap 9 of the sprint, on the opening lap of the restart as well. DRS enabled, of course. Russell having a right go at us, but again, we play the Verstappen tactic as he did in real life. Break a little bit early, and then get the position and get a bit of DRS as well, and that's going to leave Russell a sitting duck to Norris behind. In the McLaren. Russell losing out to his compatriot in the around the outside turn 4, as Leclerc and Verstappen are going side by side. Leclerc has lost out to Hamilton at the start, so yes, we are up to we're going to come through for P5. A very good sprint result. It's exactly what we needed after the DNF in Canada, and it's a great starting position for the main race. So, I will definitely take that. P5 as the game has a little bit of a glitch and spawns us back in the garage there. Came back only P12, a little bit frustrating there that he could only finish P12 and not make a bit more of an in-run as well. Stroll got a 10-second penalty for his antics as well, as Lando Norris DNF'd. I don't know how he DNF'd, because he finished behind me, but apparently he DNF'd there, so yeah, well, he'll be down the grid as well, so we'll see what we can do. Time for the race.
Welcome to the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of this famous race. It's time for the Austrian Grand Prix. 700 metres above sea level, 10 corners and one of the shortest laps of the season. 2.6 miles with some good overtaking opportunities, but you've got to get the braking right into turn 1 and turn 3. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, edging out Max Verstappen, who will start from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Phoenix, Russell, Ocon, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Bottas, Oscar Piastri, Sainz, Magnussen, Hamilton, Albon, De Vries, Tsunoda, Zhou, Sargent, Stroll, Norris, and Sergio Perez completes our grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Anthony Davidson is with us in the commentary box once again. The drivers are working so hard on these cars, and you've been part of that in all aspects, developing, testing, and driving the car. Tell us about that hard work.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. They're two very different mindsets. In the old days, of course, they used to cover up to 15,000 kilometres of testing in a season, and that role would be more about working for the team, trying to help them improve the car and drive as systematically as possible, so that the data could be analysed in the most consistent way. When lining up on the grid for a race, however, a race driver's frame of mind is all about what they can get out of the situation on that day, and the car is the tool to help them achieve those goals.
Our Christmas has come early, ladies and gentlemen, because there's engine penalties galore, and we're on the second row. We're starting P3. Race strategy. It's like Spain. Looks like medium soft is the way to go. We're going to start on the mediums, as are Leclerc and Verstappen. I think the softs will be the better strategy. It's what we did in Spain. Will it backfire like it did there? Well, we'll have to wait and see, as far lights are out already. And Russell, I'm going to look over inside. We're just going to defend. I don't think we're going to be getting involved with Leclerc and Verstappen. Those two will be flying away. And it's just literally holding on for a podium. That's what, we've got 36 laps to hold on. Russell is on soft compound tyres, but, trying to have a go at turn 10. Nothing doing there for him. We'll retain P3 for now. So here's a replay just to show, we did squeeze him a lot to also, in hindsight, to try and make the corner. Really, perhaps we should have taken the late racing line and just squeezed him off it, really. As well as our teammate is having, he's up the order because obviously he hasn't had a penalty, having to go around the outside of Oscar Piastri. So said it would be good if K-Bag can finish in front of Piastri, and that would be for some points as well at this moment in time. We are, though, playing the DRS card again. As Russell, a little bit of contact there, but we are playing that card. As Verstappen is got in front of Leclerc. So Verstappen, much to the local and the Dutch fans' delight, leads this race for Red Bull ahead of Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. As well as we've now got Russell coming back at us again, this time down the inside. Not getting the best of exit, but look at that traction. You think he took the curb on the inside. I think that's a cursed curb, and for traction as well. But this time he's come on lap 6. He's come down on the approach to turn 1. Again we're going to have DRS, but again he takes the curb. This time he's actually had a good exit, but he is a bit of a sitting duck now down this second straight. This is the longer of the 3 DRS zones, and that's going to and already Alonso's past. And also, is that Ocon going past? It is. So Russell's lost 2 positions. Up at the front, it's pretty much Verstappen is not getting away from Leclerc. Leclerc having to go around the outside and takes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix, although they are fighting all over the place for that position. We're now being tapped by Fernando Alonso, and we take, trying a bit of a cutback. Doesn't quite work, but we do have DRS nevertheless, and we are able to use that with a little bit of ERS, I must admit. I didn't want to use ERS, but I had to because he was getting away, even with me having DRS. So, we have made that position, and that is Russell now going behind battling the Alpine there. I think that's the other Alpine as well. So they're having a huge battle with the Alpines, but Russell's come back. I think this is Ocon, and Seitz has got in front of Gasly. So the Alpines, they were looking on the tail of Russell. Now they're starting to struggle a bit, as well as both of them. Russell's dumped this lot. You can see he's all at the end of the straight. If you can get a bit clear air, then you are golden. And you've got the likes of Piastri and Magnussen. Piastri's back in front of Magnussen again. As well, and they're all just losing a lot of time to each other, as there is Max Verstappen making the move to retake the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. Back to our PV on lap number 12. And Alonso's gone through this time, and I've broken early to try and get DRS. But a poor exit, the rear back end loss there, has affected me. We have to actually wait until lap 13 to be able to make the move. Down at turn 4, it's going to be round the outside as well. Alonso, we're going to have to use a bit of DRS if we're going to complete this overtake, because there's a bit of tar banging, I must admit. Down to turn 5, we'll have the inside line through that corner, and we're able to make the move stick. A little bit of an unusual place to make an overtake, but you can make an overtake if you are side by side out of turn 4 down the inside. Neither of us wanting to give up, as Alonso eventually yields the position as well. Meanwhile, on that 14, Alonso has had a go at us. We are just about to make the overtake, but there's a red flag, ladies and gentlemen, on lap 14. So, yeah, red flag. That's going to be interesting. This is what happened then. It's Gasly, who is now the first of the Alpines. Again, he has had a Spinala at turn 3. It's just faced round the other way. Everyone goes through him a little bit. But yeah, red flag deployed. We're going to have to shift though to the hard tyres, where others will shift to the mediums.
Cannot be serious!
What? Vibrant lights, ladies and gentlemen, are out, and we've retired from the Austrian Grand Prix. I don't believe this game. So it was the pink Alpine one, where it was vibrant lights and the safety car top deployed. And now here in Austria, in the main race, it's 2 DNFs in a row, ladies and gentlemen. It's vibrant lights and I've had an engine failure. That's what it is. Yeah. 2 engine failures in a row. Wow. I think I had it once on F122 with 2 engine failures. In a row, I think, if I remember rightly. But yeah, very rare to happen. Well, yeah, disappointing, because we were on for a I'm gutted, because I think we would have been on for a podium there, or at least a very good result like a P4 or P5. Yes, we were on the hard tyres, but I think we could have made it work with the defending tactics we were deploying. Verstappen won the Grand Prix though, and as a result of that for him, he's way out in front. But this is the replay of the start, and you can see the engine is just smoking away from the red flag restarts there, which obviously, if this happened in real life, there would be a fine coming to Haas, saying that you're to see this in the pit lane as they're going for formation now. So yeah, unlucky there. Rivalry, well, Norris has gained a lot, so we lead that by 1. I think we've got 1 race remaining. We've lost a bit of a claim again, which I don't think is my fault, but there we go. There wasn't anything we could do at that point, really. It was a control electronics, which is surprising. I haven't had one of those fail in a while. So, it's actually the parts that we use the most that's causing us issues. And, as a result of this, Alonso is now taking Aston Martin. Even Stroll starting to score some points. Aston Martin are sort of getting 4th place now in the constructors, and now we start to looking behind us, because Magnussen hasn't scored in 3 races. McLaren are now starting to catch up slowly. Obviously a double point score for them today, that will improve their acclaim as well. So we're now looking over our shoulders where we should really be looking forwards. Obviously we've got Alpine getting involved as well, although to be fair, Gasly had that Spinana. Ocon finished behind his teammate as well in the end. So yeah, that's where I'm going to leave today's episode. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you see plenty more F123 driver trim videos and other F123 content. The next driver trim episode will be out later in the week at Silverstone. So we'll look to bounce back then and see if we can get some points at my home Grand Prix. So until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.